Well, good afternoon and happy Sunday and happy Super Bowl Sunday for those who are acknowledging it. I am your host, Devin, and it is a glorious weekend. The weekend started off so perfect with the rightful team coming out on top. But of course, I can't be here by myself. And with me, I have the man, the myth, the legend, soon to be husband to Miss Zara Connolly. We have Mr. Zahir. How are you?
From your lips to God's ears, my brother. Hey, how you going, guys? It's been a fantastic weekend. Both Manchester teams, the women and the men, putting off impressive 2-0 victories. I just need two more things for the weekend. I need Liverpool. Yes, as much as it hurts me to say this, I need Liverpool to beat City in the game that's going on right now, and I just need the Seattle Seahawks to win the Super Bowl. Because God forbid we have to hear talk of another second coming of Brady and a Patriots dynasty.
It's going to be interesting right now is as somebody that grew up hating the Patriots, I actually have to travel up there tomorrow. So I'm actually the little petty side of me is actually hoping I can be up there after they lose, so I can sit there with a big smirk on my face and drown and let them drown in their sorrows a little bit. But
Get a Seahawks jersey when you touch down.
I was gonna wear a Yankees hat as well.
Oh, good Lord. You don't want to come back from Boston?
I don't
You
want
wear
to
a,
go.
you
I
wear a
don't.
Yankees hat in Red Sox territory, boy?
I don't even want to go up there right now. My Bajan ass is made for the warm, not for what's up there right now.
Boy, it's frigid. It's as cold as Liverpool's title hopes.
Like that. Biggest disappointments of the season. I don't care what anybody says. After they win the title, um, they spent all this money in the off season, and they're not even in top four right now. But
They broke tradition with what they'd usually been doing. They were never a club to go out and spend unreservedly. However, I think this is the danger of new manager came in, used old managers, established, well-oiled, tried and proven squad, and won a title. But then now new manager tells himself, I need to put my stamp on things. I need to play. You see where we started talking about system and players and formations. Son, don't interfere with the crap. You just won the title. There was no need to interfere with a winning formula.
correct. But before we continue, there is one very important thing we must do on a Sunday, and that is a cheers.
Well, unfortunately, I can't cheers yet, buddy, because I'm getting myself in preparation for the holy month of Ramadan. It's going to start in the following week. It's actually starting on my birthday this year. All right, so it's going to be a very quiet birthday. A lot of reflection and thinking about life and the reason we're fasting and stuff. So I'm actually looking forward to it. Looking forward to that reset in that month.
Well, let me go and look at some of these comments as well first. Good afternoon to Greg B. Been a long time. Good afternoon to Courtney as well. But so since I will be the only one drinking here, I guess I can lead this conversation. I could just ask you this right now. What were your thoughts about the team yesterday?
It is. I don't want to use the word refreshing, Devin. It is calming to see that we have got to a point where the team is playing well enough, comfortable enough that the manager does not need to change his starting lineup game after game after game. He's getting the best out of the players that are starting. We're not picking up injuries, and I know we'll touch on it later on in the show, but we dodged a major injury yesterday. with
Yes, we
that
did.
tackle on Casemiro. Yes, we lost Dorgu last week, but we were able to fill that. So by and large, we don't have to make wholesale changes. We're getting what we want. We're getting the starters scoring when we bring people off the bench, like Seshko coming on last week. He scored. So good signs, good progress. I just wanted to continue forward ever, backward never.
Could not agree more. And four wins out of four for Michael Carrick. You know what's going to happen now. The calls for him about being considered for the full time job are going to get louder and louder as it comes now. My personal take: if he finishes third or higher, he needs to be in consideration for that job. But my number one choice right now, my if we could pick anybody in the world, I still would go with Luis Enrique right now.
I don't know if he would really be interested, given that he did something at PSG. PSG were consistently failing to win the big one, which is the Champions League, right? They were winning the league in France, sometimes running away with it, not really having that much competition. They were getting their stars, they were selling them when they needed to sell them, buying other big stars. But it was something was a bit disjointed with the team. When they needed to step it up in Europe, they weren't doing that, and he has found a way to get them to do that. It seems like a more balanced unit, seems like a better team. He seems to have a better run of the dressing room. And at the end of the day, he's going to have owners with deeper pockets for when he wants to spend. If I was Enrique, given that he has no previous attachments to our club, so it's not like if it's a Carrick coming back to coach at the club where he was at, or somebody who, a really big star coming back home, or someone who was on the coaching staff before coming back. No, he doesn't have any connection to us that would endear us to him. Whether Carrick's the guy, listen, I am still going to wait until the last day of the season before I truly sit down and ponder that. I want to see how it ends. I don't want to see how it starts. This is how it starts, right? We're going to run into some rough games. We're going to have a patch where we have 2-3 games in a row where we're struggling to pull the wins out of thin air, or we just have to have some sort of magic happen, or maybe we drop points. Not that I'm wishing it. I want to see how he handles the adversities. I want to see how the players rally behind him. I don't expect that the media will ever turn on him yet, because English, right? That's one of their own, right?
Yeah.
I also
Well,
want to see, my last point on it, I want to see how he handles his friends, his former players and mates at Manchester United, who are now so called pundits and experts, who seem to think that their opinion is sacred and means more than anybody else's about Manchester United. So I want to see how he's going to handle all of that before I say, hey, buddy, take the wheels.
it's interesting on that last point that he's already kind of showed that from the get go, where I think it was Sky Sports wanted Roy Keane to interview him, and he turned it down.
Good.
So I guess there's some bad blood involving Carrick's wife and Roy Keane from back in the day or whatever. But so he's already showing that he's putting his stamp on the squad. But the one thing that I think has not gotten enough recognition yet is the addition of Steve Holland to this squad and to his coaching squad. Because that man is no nonsense. That man, everything that we've been saying, I believe you always have your unsung heroes for each of those. Carrick will get all the credit, but all the hard work, or a majority of the hard work, is being done by Steve Holland. And
And this is
regardless,
not a
regardless
situation,
of what happens, we need to hold on to Steve Holland. Is what I truly believe.
and look, from my limited knowledge and understanding of it, this is not a situation that is unfamiliar to Steve Holland, because I'm going to use just 2 words: Gareth Southgate.
Correct.
Steve was Gareth's assistant for 10 years. it was England's best 10 years in well over 10 decades, right? Easily one of their best decade of football. Steve didn't get the credit for it. Southgate did. But now we're seeing the effect Steve is having on our team. So it now becomes clear who really was the driving force behind the quote unquote renaissance of English football under, well, let's give him his flowers, under Sir Gareth Southgate, right?
Yeah, I would have to say that I agree, and I hope that it may continue. Let's see. Next game's coming up fast. I think I got. I think it's on Tuesday or Wednesday that we play
Yeah,
next.
Tuesday. You're playing West Ham on Tuesday.
Playing West Ham, so a certain fellow might finally be booking an appointment with a barber for a haircut. It
Well,
won't
this
be
is what
me, so it'll
I,
be hair,
as, soon as,
hair.
as soon as we get that win on Tuesday, the social media post on Wednesday should be my boy pulling into the barber salon at Carrington, because you know they put in their own barber salon for them,
Correct.
right? And he should have his pick of whether it's Cunha or which one of the guys he wants to give him a haircut, right?
Agreed.
And if they don't do that, man, they've missed out a golden opportunity.
Agreed. You got to do something for charity as well. You never know. So
You understand? Sell the locks for charity, or you get you probably print like a limited edition barbershop number 1 something behind the t-shirt and auction it off for charity. Do something, like eventually Manchester United is gonna have to auction off the D Walker number 1 fan jersey someday.
that's a long time coming. I still got a bit more work to do before that comes. But
You're getting there, buddy. You're getting there. Keep it up.
maybe start in the Caribbean first, and then we can go on from there.
Yeah.
So I wanted to take a look at the live table right now just to see what's going on. So Arsenal is out in front with 56 points. Man
Hmm.
City is second on 48 points. Aston Villa third on 47. And we are fourth on 44, with Chelsea in fifth on 43, Liverpool on 40. And this is live right now. So this
Hmm.
is including the match that's going on as we speak right now, Liverpool Man City.
Yeah,
So the
that's the
table
nil.
could change throughout this match, but as of now, this is where it stands.
Villa is feeling the pressure. I mean, they haven't been in this position in a very, very long while, right? They've done well. I will not disrespect Emery to say that he's not a good manager. I mean, the guy pretty much had the Europa League by the scruff of the neck when he was at, well, who was it, Sevilla? Yeah, it seemed like he was winning the Europa League almost every season or every other season with them, right? And you will have your people like Real Madrid fans who are going to tell you that it's not a big league and they will disrespect it simply because they have 15 Champions League trophies. Whoop-de skippity doo. The European League is still the second biggest European competition, club competition. So, hey, guy winning it multiple times, you got to give the guy credit, right?
Correct.
He's got a limited squad to work with. He's coming off of a summer where they lost their best attacking threat, right? No, wait, they didn't. Sorry, Watkins is still there. Why did I think that Watkins had left?
Because I
Was
think
the,
Watkins is hurt.
he's here. The John Duran was the guy who went across.
Yeah, he went for the big money move to
Yeah,
Saudi.
he went to the big buddy move. And they're doing all of this with a complete and utter waste of a liability on the bench. Let's not call his name. We all know who it is, right? So
He-
I,
He's, he's too busy not paying escorts to focus on his playing career. But anyway,
there is. I mean, poor guy's probably playing Ultimate Team of the Year on FIFA as we speak, right?
poor
So,
guy. No, he's right where he should be.
hey, well, I agree with him. I mean, everything's going right for him. He's on the right side of the couch, not even the right side of the bench, right? So Villa is letting me down a bit because I really wanted them to be putting that pressure on Arsenal. We can't sit back here and expect that Arsenal's going to bottle it without pressure on them. They need the pressure on them, right? So that was where I wanted Villa to be. Unfortunately, they're not. So let's keep taking care of our business, and maybe within the next 3 to 4 weeks, when Arsenal turns around, there will be.
I fully expected after seeing the signings that Man City made that they would be a bigger threat towards
Mm,
Arsenal now, especially with the way how they strengthen, because without a doubt, they did win the January transfer window. I don't care
mhm.
what anybody says.
And it
With only
depends on the
signings,
guys on the market.
they strengthened everywhere that they needed to.
Mm.
And Gahey and Semenyo in the same window. Yeah, that's a great window as well to strengthen right where you need it. I thought that would be enough to get to propel them over the line, but it seems that teams are figuring out how to mark Erling Haaland now.
Hmm.
And I'm starting to see it more and more. Like, for example, even in my fantasy team, like this is 2 weeks in a row that I've not captained him.
Correct.
Which, anybody who's played the last 2, 3 seasons of fantasy would say that he's a sure lock every week.
Hmm.
So
You see, this has been my knock on Howard. As efficient, stats driven, productive, whatever you want to call him, that he's been, he is not a technical and skillful genius of a forward. You program simple instruction into Holland. It's almost like a damn robot. Program instruction, ball into net, and he does that, right? He's not the guy who's going to take up the ball, goes past one defender, beat two, curl a fantastic shot. No, you're not getting that from Erling Haaland,
he's
right?
trapped and shoot.
Right? That's it.
Well, we
Collect
we
ball,
had a we had a
shoot ball,
striker like that back in the day too.
right? We did, right?
Shout out Greg B for the shirt there because he has that player's shirt signed now.
Greg B needs to bring the shirt out one of these days with us, right?
I think he has that under armed security right now.
Right. But that's sort of a throwback type of striker. That's what you call your ultimate finisher, right? You want a guy to finish. Haaland's top of the list.
Correct.
What City needed was the Alvarez type striker, who they ended up selling, right? The guy who brings you something different.
I
And as
think
much
I think that's supposed to be what they expect Marmouche to be when
now
he gets
he's
some
not
running
that.
games. When he gets
He's
some
not.
running games.
Now this is where I mean petty rivalries aside and professional differences and loyalties aside, even in the old talk, we will give the credit where the credit is due, right? If you look at the three options Arsenal has to play up front as a central striker now, each one brings something vastly distinct and different. You have Jokeres, you've got Gabriel Jesus, and you've got Kai Havertz. And in recent weeks, both Jesus and Havertz have shown signs that they've recovered from their long-term injuries. They're getting more minutes, they're getting playing time, they're looking sharper, they're looking healthy, they're looking ready, right? So Arteta now has the luxury of game planning better for his opponents on a week to week basis, right? We might not have that because we don't still have the confidence to say, well, hey, anybody we take off the bench and put up front as the striker is going to score. And then what do we have on the bench? If we start with Mbumo up in front, the bench is Zixi and Cheshko. So it's one out of three of them, right? Yes, they will score your goals. Yes, they've done well, but are they giving us that ultimate confidence that no matter what game, what team, what situation you throw them on, you're going to get a goal?
So I want to give a shout out to Teen Lasers here. He likes Carrick at the wheel. What can I
Mm.
say? Hard to believe it's not Scholes. And then Courtney is saying for whatever reason the team is not feeding Holland and he is suffering for it. he actually had a glorious chance at this half, and but he squared it straight to Allison from what I remember. But
I, I can't remember them not feed. Well, I guess they didn't feed him when we beat them 2-0. But it's kind of hard to feed a
that,
guy
that,
when he
that's because that's
when he's
because he
inside
had the butcher
Martinez's
all over him.
pocket.
So how could they feed him? How could they feed him
How
when
do
the
you
butcher
feed
was
him when
all
he's
over him?
inside Martinez's pocket with a
Exactly.
pacifier stuck in his mouth? Right? Shout out to Paul Scholes and Nicky Butt. Right? But
Exactly.
I mean, look, I like what I'm seeing, Dev. I really do. I mean, you look at those two goals, the Dorgu goal against Arsenal, the Cunha goal against Arsenal, right? We look at the Mbumo goal with the set piece routine yesterday, right? You look at some of the patterns of play, it's taking me back. It's taking me back to a different time, a different era. And this is one of the pluses with Carrick. Been there, done that, won the whole damn thing, right? What I also like with Carrick is a calmness, a steadiness, nothing too fussy, nothing too elaborate. That is how he played his football, right? If we get the right, I still think we need the midfield reinforcement. I do, especially with Casemiro indicating that he's leaving at the end of
Correct.
the season, right? Filling those shoes is not easy. So now we have to fill his shoes and compensate for what we didn't have. So we're going from probably needing one to now needing maybe two, right?
I think one.
If it had to be one, which is the one? Who is the one that you're looking at?
I am leaning more and more towards Elliot Anderson now than the other two. Because I
He was
mean, realistically, there were three names that kept on popping up all the time. You got
Anderson
sorry, Anderson,
and
yes, yes,
Baleba
two, and Wharton.
and Wharton, right? I looked at Elliot Anderson when we scraped that win against Crystal Palace, right? We won that game with Anderson bossing the midfield back.
You mean Wharton?
Sorry, so no Anderson is who again?
Forrest.
Forrest, right? Sorry. When we ended up, did we draw or did we scrape a win?
I think we drew.
They came back. They came back. We were 2-0 up and they came back or something like that, right? We ended up drawing 2-2 with them, right? But Anderson bossed the game, right? Wharton wasn't as impressive. Anderson was. Baleba, verdicts out a bit on Baleba because I don't know if the rumored price tag and the apparent interest from other clubs, if it turned his head a bit, what's going on. Anderson seems perhaps to be a more level-headed guy, maybe a little more reliable, maybe a little more consistent. I don't see we getting him. If we do get him, Dev, yes, we drew it first. Thanks. Dev, if we do get him, it's not gonna be for anything. That price isn't coming down under 65, and we're gonna face real competition for him.
It's the thing with Mbaliba right now, because I was somebody even before this season. He he was at the top of my
Right.
list.
Oh my god, did this comment? Oh my god.
Yes, I saw it. I saw
Oh, oh,
it.
oh, oh. That man lifted a Champions League trophy. Please remind them.
Well, you forget one other thing that he
Mm.
shits on Fabregas.
Oh,
Anybody remember his chat?
oh my god. That Anderson lifted a Champions League trophy and scored in the shootout.
Yes, he did.
I think, regardless of who we go after them, I think anybody could admit we're not getting them unless we're offering them Champions League football.
Well, because of United's finances, I agree.
Hmm.
Yeah, I have to say that
I equate Champions League football to about 20 to 25 mil.
it is
If
more.
we don't, if we don't have
It's
Champions
more.
League football, we're going to have to pay about 20 and 25 million more than anybody else to get them.
You're gonna have to try to come up with some tricky deals and all this other stuff to.
And remember, we're getting nothing for Casemiro. He's leaving on a free. The
You
guy
know what?
who's warming the couch warmer is leaving for free.
It's
Right?
gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough now to try to figure out if you could get Casemiro to, or we could force him into that 1 year extension with the way that he's been playing lately. But he will have to reduce his salary. The
I,
salary is a problem. Yes, we know.
I doubt. And then now here's another wrinkle in the whole thing. How much are you willing to accept from Barcelona for Marcus Rashford?
They agreed on 30 million, so I don't. So 30 million or nothing.
30 or nothing.
They remember that was part of it. That was part of the loan agreement.
Mm-hmm.
But
But they were trying to get
Barcelona tried to pull a fast one, say they don't want to pay the 30 million. I said then fine, then we can sell him to PSG because PSG like him as well.
So here's my question. At the end of August, Barca is willing to give us 30 million for him, right? Carrick gets the job and picks up the phone and calls Marcus. You good with that or you're not?
No. No.
Because he will call him Dev.
So this is the next parts about it as well. He had his time at the club. He was doing all his antics and whatnot towards the end of it. And how many times do we come in here and we say it cannot be player power FC? He has already come out and said that he does not want to come back to the club. That he's happy in Barcelona. Let him go. Let him be happy. Fine, we could cash in for it. Good luck to you. But his time at the club is done. The only player who is left right now on a permanent who I would welcome back is Scott McTominay.
Yes. Right. Yes. And all the McTominay haters can come for us. But I look at what Scott is doing in Italy. And that is the role that Scott was made to play. Scott is not a number 10. Right? Scott McTominay is by no stretch of the imagination creative. What Scott McTominay is your utility tool belt. You see this? You see this utility knife?
Correct.
That is what McTominay is.
I would love for explanation on this comment here.
Bun Scott?
I left it up for a while because I think that you are definitely not.
Okay. If somebody never saw Scott play before McFred or after McFred,
there's a difference.
And all they look at is the McFred version of Scott.
When he was played in the wrong position. When he was played in the wrong position, yes.
That comment is valid. And I think any Manchester fan would say the same thing. You see, and it applies to Fred as well, The Turkish version of Fred. Right? The Fred that we had before he came to us. Where was he at? Shakhtar Donetsk, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. That version of Fred. Very different versions of Fred. The Brazilian Fred. When he played when it was Fred Amiro for Brazil. Fred and Casemiro. Right? You look at that and then you watch McFred. I mean, shout out to Beth on the United stand for coining that phrase, McFred. Right? Hi, Beth. Right? They'll find a way to get that clip to Beth for me, please. Yeah. And you look at that period of play at the two of them, and you're going to think they're the worst midfield combination in the history of midfield combinations. Right? But apart from that, you got to give the guys credit. They're not that bad.
And so the other thing about it is he did not want to leave. Remember, he was forced to be sold because of FFP purposes and because that would be 100% profit.
Mm-hmm.
So, and
Courtney's got a good response, right? There was no defensive linchpin with them.
So it was basically like the problem was that in order to accommodate to Bruno, they had to play that double pivot, and so it was always McFred, so they would play out of their positions.
That double
So
pivot,
we
that
saw what happened when we played McTominay up top, and he was scoring quite a bit. And so that's why I'm saying if we could bring McTominay back and he's played in the same position as where he's at Napoli, I think it could make a big difference. But you cannot bring him back to play in the role he was at when he was before.
so now Lasers has put a little more context into it. Good. Kobe is doing now what they tried to ask Scott to do then, right? Syria is a slow pace, okay, but we do need somebody who can slow it down sometimes, right? Casemiro is going. Ugarte has clearly shown he is not the answer, and trying to get Kobe to do that is wasting Kobe Mainoo's gifts and talents, right? So you give Kobe a little more freedom to go forward, and you have somebody in the back. Now, if they go to Napoli and they ask for Scott, well, what's our options? Are we going to offer, say, hey, keep Rasmus, knock something off the price for Scott? Because they're going to ask us to pay more than they paid for him.
I gotta check how long he has on his contract and a couple other things as well for that. But I remember this is not my number one choice. This was me just saying that he was the only player that has left that I would welcome back right now. That's all that was. I wasn't saying that he would go out for him right away.
So curiously, you wouldn't swap Zixi out for Rasmus.
You know that one I don't. It's a possibility because one of the issues with Hoyland at the time was he was not getting the service provided to him because we didn't have the attacking players up front that we have now. So maybe it might make a difference right now. Um, I would almost be more inclined to do Sheshko for Hoyland.
I don't see them doing that.
I would say Sheshko really pissed me off with that last header of the game.
Yeah, but I think Sheshko,
I don't care if we're up 2-0. You get that opportunity. You don't get chances like that all the time. So
you have to put it away. Sesko strikes me as a guy for him to really run into the kind of form and consistency we want, he has to start every game and he has to play at least 75 to 80 minutes every game, regardless of if he's scoring or not. And that's going to help him build his confidence. His shots ratio is going to go up. That to me, that's the impression I'm getting from Seshko, right? That is what he needs. Can we afford him that right now? No, we're at the business end of the season where we are trying to establish ourselves. Now, he came in very late, so he had no preseason with us, right? Maybe going into next season, if he gets a full preseason and he gets to get those run of games on a preseason tour, and then we get to start in August with him having established himself as the quote-unquote number 9, maybe things might look different. Let's see, right?
I don't see him starting anytime soon right now because with the squad that we have, he's been very effective with coming off the bench.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and we're gonna have another dilemma when Dorgu comes back as well.
Well, when Dorgu comes back,
Cunha was benched for Dorgu as well. If you don't forget that.
Well, and it's not a bad headache to have.
It's the correct kind of headache that you're supposed to have.
It's the kind of headache that Sir Alex managed.
And so you're going to have injuries along the way. You need to keep players fit as well. So you cannot you can't expect to start every single match.
Correct. And Sir Alex was very good at managing those type of headaches with the squad depth that we had then and keeping everybody happy and keeping everybody satisfied, right? I mean, there's a litany of players we don't want to see come back. Like, well, Andre Onana should never walk back in the door at Manchester United, right? Even if they come to an agreement with him that they're getting rid of Bayindir and he's coming back as backup, no.
I don't, no, nothing.
I rather take an under 23 or somebody and promote him to backup than bring Onana back right now, right? We've got something good going here, and I think. I mean, I could be dead wrong on this, but having watched Carrick play for us, having followed him when he was at Tottenham, having seen him play for England, there is nothing about Michael Carrick that screams egotistical, self-absorbed, or needing the praise or anything like that. Like all of those things you apply to Mourinho, right? Everything has to feed Jose's ego, right? Then Ole was the other end of the spectrum. Ole was a people pleaser, so he had to do what everybody wanted because he wanted everybody to like him, right? Then you got the other guys in the middle. You got Amarim who understood that look, this is my way, or the highway. That was his approach. Then you had Ten Hag who was given simply too much power and made ridiculous decisions in terms of transfers, right? So we just haven't had the guy who's even keeled, who is steady, who is assured in who he is and what he wants, and is able to get that. And if you look at who he's brought around him, Holland is that guy. He's the fly under the radar, do the hard work, put in the dirty work behind the scenes. I don't care who gets the praise, the team wins, right? He's also brought Johnny Evans in, who has always been that guy his entire career. I'll do the dirty work. I'll do the hard work. It doesn't matter if Rio and Vidic are getting all the praise, right? That's what we need, bro.
I can't tell if Courtney was joking with this comment or not. Because my answer is I don't care.
Yeah, I really don't either. Right? Oh gosh, Laser. God, you had to put that Laser. Oh my god. First team to first class on Virgin Atlantic.
To somewhere else in Europe. Biggest scam we fell for as United fans. He's up there.
He's up there. He's up there. He's up there with Massimo Taibi.
Well, I mean, I would put him up there with Alexis Sanchez.
Right? He's up there with Sanchez. He's up there with Bebe. Let's not forget Bebe, the Portuguese guy.
Yeah, Di Maria's another one.
I don't know about if we fell for a scam, you know. The thing with the Di Maria one is he had made it clear he didn't want to. He wanted to go to PSG. It's just that they didn't have the money, and we were the only team that was willing to pay him. So it was kind of expected that he was going to do whatever he needed to do to get out of Manchester after 1 year, when PSG would have the money to buy him. Right? So I don't think it was a scam. I think we just succumbed to the temptation of wanting a big name, and we went for Di Maria. Right? I don't know about other people, but for me, oh gosh, it's Taibi, it's Bebe, it's Sanchez, it's Onana, Sancho's a scam. I'm sorry, because he has never even given us a glimmer of the Dortmund level Sancho. It's like the minute he touched back down, and starting it, and the thing about it is, he went to Chelsea, did the same thing. Went to Villa, did the same thing. Right? So it's like the English air does not agree with Jadon Sancho. It seems like he could only do this in another league. Right? When he's outside of England. So anyway, let's just get rid of the man and go, yeah?
Yeah, I would agree with this comment from Courtney that if Onana is doing well, he's easier to sell.
Man, sell, you know, sometimes you just have to terminate that contract and take the losses and go away, you know. Right? Ask Courtney if he never ended a relationship and just accept the losses, never get back certain hoodies or albums or certain things, and just had to accept the losses and go away.
Taking back
unpopular opinion. Nah, that's not an unpopular opinion, bro. That is not an
everybody knows the talent that he is. Everybody knows that right off the get-go. The issue is not going to be with his on the pitch performances. It's about his past, and also let me see how I can say this without getting canceled now. He was never convicted of anything.
Correct.
He's with the woman now, and they have a whole family going right now.
2 kids.
Everybody screws up.
Correct.
Now, of course, he did it in more than one way, but he was young.
Hmm.
And the next issue then is if he comes back, he's going to have to be protected from the media, from the fans, everybody like that, like crazy, because we know the media is going to have a field day with that.
There is no way that he comes back here and never faces questions about that in every single press conference, in every single interview that he does. The man could score, the man could start a game, score 5 goals in half an hour, and we win. And the first question they're going to ask him is, do you think you need to apologize for things that happened when you left? Like, okay, my saying and your saying that the guy wasn't convicted does not equate to you and I saying he is not guilty of doing something wrong, right? But if you have not been convicted by a court of law, that has to factor in how you are treated moving forward. The mere fact that the person bringing the allegations against you has sat down, decided she's no longer going to follow, because for them to have to drop the case, the person my understanding is, person who has brought the case has decided she's no longer going to follow through with it, right? So if she's no longer following through with it, the case is dropped. It is not about lack of evidence, because from what we saw, there was damning evidence, right? And we can only go on what we saw out in the public domain.
Wow. Sorry. Liverpool just spurred a really good chance.
Ugh.
Ekatike, you got to score that there. Wow. Sorry.
So if she has found a way to put things past him, and I think a lot of what is helping them is he's away from his social circle that he was in England with. He was away from the influences of even people at the club who may not have been the best influences for him. Has the guy been successful? Yes. He was at, which team was it in Spain he was at? Granada?
Oh, I can't remember, but yeah, he was doing real well out there too.
Either Granada or Getafe, one out of those two.
I think it
And
was
he did
Hetafe. I think it was Hetafe.
I did well. You got to move to Olympic Marseille, and you've been doing damn well. You've been keeping your head to the ground.
He's the leading goal scorer in the UN right now. Yeah.
Right. Not having any fresh scandals, not making tabloids for anything, been doing what you want.
I see Robert's been partaking in carnival festivities already with that comment.
Robert just throws out a stink and dirty comment because he wants everybody to know what fete he now coming home from, right?
Exactly.
Well done, Robert. We all know you went stink and dirty.
and got trapped in the exit for hours as well too, like everybody else, right?
No, Robert wasn't trapped. Robert was winding down to the ground in the traffic. This is Robert you're talking about today. Right. But
yeah, right. That's Robert right there. Hashtag I can't behave myself.
correct. Woman and Rob. That is it. That is Robert. That is Robert modus operandi around this time of the year. But I think really to bring him back, Dev, if they found a way to get it done, I'd be on board with it.
Yeah, and the other thing is as well is because I believe that we have a 60% sell-on clause for him as well, so like that could drop his fee as well for what we actually have to pay to bring him back. Because I mean, realistically, the midfield is a priority. I think that we are very set for our center backs.
Yeah, because we've got Harry. We
do need another right back though.
Well, we only have one.
I say 1.5.
We have one.
We have Mazraoui, and then we have Dalot.
We have
Dalot. That's a half. So let's.
And what we've got is another utility in Dalot, right? We've got Maz. We've got a utility. The utilities are important players. I'm not saying no. I mean, in the past, we had guys like Darren Fletcher, guys like John O'Shea, right? Who Johnny Evans, who were utility players. You could play them anywhere across the four at the back, or even toss them in, as a defensive linchpin in the middle, right? You need to have a couple of utility players, but it can't be that the utility player is the guy who's gonna be one of the first names on the team sheet, right? It can't be. You've got to have your specialist. Utility is the guy who fills in when something goes wrong. Devin, your eyes open. Tell me it's a score.
No, no, no. I'm watching Pep, and Pep is doing fantasy bacchanal right now again.
I don't rate it. Sorry guys, I'm sorry. I mean,
No, sorry. It's because you know how right now you have to stay for 60 minutes to get the clean sheet points, right?
mm,
And I see two
taking them
defenders.
off, taking them off before that.
I see two defenders about to come on the 59th minute.
Yeah, and look, Kidney saying we need a left back, and to an extent he's correct because I mean we can't squeeze water out of a stone with Luke Shaw for much longer, right? And Dorgu is showing that he's much better as a winger, the way he's being used on the left hand side. You've got the Diego Leon guy, but we haven't really been using him. He's been playing with the juniors. So you need that cover. You need left back, you need a right back cover. Centre backs were good. You got Harry, you got Martinez, you got Delit, you got Heaven, you got Euro. So you got those five top guys where you're rotating any two combination in those five, right? And that's kind of what you need to move with there. Right? A man calling Amarim's Cameron, yes. That's sort of like how I call Guardiola Fraudiola. Guardiola has not proven that he can win anything without a club where he gets to buy who he wants. He
Without a
took
blank
one of,
checkbook. Yeah.
he took one of the best and most successful Bayern Munich teams and couldn't win the Champions League with them because he was not given an open checkbook to buy who he wanted. Right? We all know the racket that Barcelona's alleged to have been doing over the years, which is, fully part of their success story. And we all know the open checkbook that he has at City. Right? Why don't you go to a club where you're not going to get that and take the club and do something remarkable, totally reinvent the way the club plays football on a shoestring budget? No, you can't do that. You cannot function with that. And Fergie did it, right? Fergie did it with Aberdeen. In case people forget that there was life before Manchester for Sir Alexander Chapman Ferguson.
That is very much true as well. So, well, before we wrap up this show, because we're getting towards the end of it, we have West Ham coming up. West Ham is starting to get a little bit of a resurgence under them as well. I can't remember how they did in the last game. I think they won.
They won. Or did Everton come from behind? Somebody came from behind and beat them, I wonder.
Let me see if I can find it. Oh, they beat Burnley 2-0.
Right.
So this game will be it definitely will be an interesting one. Obviously, we all know about the haircut that could potentially be. But above all else, it could be 5 out of 5 for Carrick. It could be another attempt to potentially close in on Aston Villa, who are only 3 points ahead of us right now and for that third place spot. Realistically, it's looking like there could be 5 Champions League spots up for grabs for English teams again. But I don't want to chance that right now. So this match coming up is going to be tough. But the one thing I do know about West Ham is whenever there's a goal with them, Jared Bowen is somehow involved.
Just as we talk, on a quick side note, and we talk Champions League and English teams, right? Arsenal, City, Chelsea, Liverpool, Newcastle, Tottenham. Those are the 6 English teams in the Champions League, right?
Correct.
You want to remind me which club has beaten all 6 for the season?
Exactly.
Thank you very much.
And that was interesting because we have this thing this season of beating champions. We beat
Mm-hmm.
the champions of the world. We beat the Premier League champions and everything else. That actually had me worried for Arsenal because what have they won
Nothing.
for now? But we'll see. We'll see if that changes later on in the season. But coming back to the West Ham now,
3-0.
3-0. Okay. Vert's just further chance.
Well,
It's
it's good.
a good defensive block by Gahey, so I'll give him that.
They thought they were getting hurts and they got hurts. I mean,
No, actually, to be fair, Gahey put in a good block. But yeah, so you're saying 3-0.
Courtney saying 2-1.
Score chance it says love. Okay, hear it now.
Where the man gets his haircut, tell him send it in a care package to Pep.
Right. Even tells. Yeah, I can hear it now.
Tell the man send the hair, donate it to Pep.
So I think it's going to be a 3-1 victory for us.
Hmm.
I would like to see, if it's possible, a little bit of more squad rotation, if possible,
Hmm.
just to give some players some rest. But that we'll see what happens come Tuesday. I know it's gonna be it sounds weird to say this now that the squad has gotten used to playing only once a week. So it's
Yeah,
on this little bit of rest. It might make a difference now to them. But you know what? For next season, when we're back in Champions League, they got to get used to it again.
correct.
So that's my take on that. Uh, I gotta finish my beer before we end the show.
Hmm.
And so before we go, any parting words I hear?
Long live United. Stick with the fight. Trust in the process. We are back on the rise.
And for all those that are going to play mass, be safe. Make sure you hydrate. Um, and for those that is your first time doing this is not the festival to be wearing your nice shoes. This is where you wear your comfortable shoes.
Correct.
And
If
the other,
anybody needs a designated
other
driver,
if you
call
know
me.
you cannot
Ladies,
handle, if you
I'm
know
your
you cannot
designated
handle the
driver.
rum, if you know you cannot handle the rum, leave it alone, gentlemen. As I hear everybody in the comments as well. I hope you have a pleasant Super Bowl Sunday and Carnival. Hydrate and drink puncheon. And we'll keep the red flag flying high because Man United will never die. Take care, everybody.
Take care, everybody.